Welcome to an introduction to yoga for 30 minutes. I'm Michelle Chua. So let's begin in any way that you can sit comfortably. You might even like to sit on a chair or something like a block, which could be a pillow, something firm. And then if it doesn't feel comfortable to sit cross-legged, find a way to sit so that you can feel truly grounded. You might take a moment to shift around, rocking the pelvis side to side or circling the spine forward and back, and just to feel how your weight is evenly distributing through that triangular base that is your pelvis. And then as you center your weight, lift up through the center of your spine, and just more attention to feel alert in mind and body. Let your hands rest in your lap. Take a moment to feel the placement of your shoulders in relation to your hips. Does it seem like the shoulders are much forward or much back? Somewhere in between. And you might even like to roll the shoulders out for a moment if you tend to carry any tension there. And then begin to release the shoulders more intentionally downward. Press the sitting bones, bottom of your pelvis more intentionally downward, and lift up through the very center of your spine, lifting through the crown of your head. Allow your chin to parallel the ground. And maybe close the eyes to help you pay more attention to the way you're naturally breathing. Allowing yourself some stillness to just check in. How's your mind feeling? How's your body feeling? I'd like to begin the practice with quoting a definition of yoga. There are various definitions, but here's the gist of it as defined in Light on Yoga by one of the great modern teachers of yoga, BKS Iyengar. He says, yoga is the method by which the restless mind is calmed and the energy directed into constructive channels. As a mighty river which, when properly harnessed by dams and canals, creates a vast reservoir of water, prevents famine and provides abundant power for industry, so also the mind, when controlled, provides a reservoir of peace and generates abundant energy for human uplift. And there are various ways to practice yoga. In the Yoga Sutras, there are actually 8 stages or 8 limbs, but today we'll touch upon 3. Physical, which is asanas or postures, mindful breathing, called pranayama in Sanskrit, and a bit of meditation. Dharana, which is concentration, one of the preliminary levels of it. So as you continue to sit tall, more aware of your breathing, aware of how you're feeling, remember that the physical practice of yoga is coupled with the mental practice of paying attention, mindfulness, and maintaining a balance with how much effort you're exerting and how much you're allowing ease in your breath and body. Never overdoing it or underdoing it. Just constantly finding that center. So now let's begin with more attention to the breath. Let's place the left hand on the center of your chest. Place the right hand on your lower belly, just below the belly button. And as you continue to breathe naturally, maybe the eyes still closed, feel any subtle or not subtle movements as you breathe. You might feel more movement in your chest or more movement in your belly, or not so much at all. There's no right or wrong. We're just taking notice. Now take a slower breath in and feel what expands a bit more. Keeping the shoulders relaxed and sitting tall. Open the mouth as you exhale. Imagine you're fogging a mirror. Again, breathing in a little deeper. Open the mouth like you're fogging a mirror. Continue that on your own and focus now on trying to breathe in as slowly as you breathe out. and refining that whispering sound so it's smooth, not explosive. Because in regulating the way you're breathing, pranayama, you're regulating the way your energy is moving through the body. So now we're going to start Ujjayi Pranayama, which is Sanskrit for victorious breath. Closing your lips, you're going to count to 5 as we inhale, then 5 as we exhale, just through the nose. But at the same time, I'd like you to focus on creating that soft whispering sound, like you're fogging a mirror. But this time, just breathing through the nostrils. You can create the sound by gently narrowing the back of your throat. So let's begin. Exhale this breath out. Hold it for a moment. Now take a deep breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try counting a couple more on your own. In 5, out 5. Maintaining a gentle whisper as you narrow the back of your throat. Lips closed. So as you continue, know that this breathing technique helps to warm the body up and prepare it to move safely, as well as the sound you're creating helps to steady the focus of the mind. So try to keep tuning into that breath as we now add some movements. Let's come down to your hands and knees. So if you have something that, like a towel or a mat, something that you can cushion your knees as needed, maybe you're on carpet, that helps. So as you place your knees on the ground, have them just underneath your hips, and then set your wrists on the ground about 2 inches in front of your shoulders. That will give the spine more space to move around. Now take a look at your hands and spread your fingers really wide and flat, pointing the index fingers forward so they're parallel to each other. We're going to start with movements called cat-cow pose or Bitalasana. And we're going to connect it to the pace of your breath. So start by breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. And now moving with it, inhale, stretch your spine forward, glide forward, then coil your chest up, lifting the chest to look up, the shoulders roll down. Use the entire exhale to begin looking between your knees, pulling in the belly and rounding your back. Let's do that a few times. Inhale, look forward, stretch the spine forward, then coil your chest up. This is cow pose. As you exhale, begin to look down and round the back by lifting the belly into cat pose. Using the entire length of the inhale, again, chest forward, then tilt it up. Exhale, contract the abdomen and round your spine. Let's try 2 more cycles of breath. Breathing in, chest forward, then gaze up. Breathing out, contract the belly, look down and round. Last time, listen to the sound of your breath. This is a great movement to help loosen up the spine, helps to energize the center of the body, and then relax. Let's bring the feet together behind you. Keep the knees apart and begin to sink your pelvis all the way down to your feet. Now, if it feels resistant to sinking down, try separating the knees even wider. And then as you lower the pelvis, let your forehead rest either on the floor or maybe on top of the pillow of your crossed forearms. Whatever is comfortable for you to take a few breaths here in this resting position called child's pose, or in Sanskrit, balasana. It's also a wonderful way to gently stretch your spine, especially your lower back. If you're looking more for that, do extend your arms forward and press the mat away in front of you as you draw your sitting bones further down towards your heels. Feel the length down the sides of your torso and try to relax the shoulders back. Let them shift away from the neck. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. within a physical yoga class, anytime that you need to rest, this is a great position to put your body in. But now let's start to walk the hands back towards the outsides of your knees. Press the ground there and tuck your chin to your chest. As you breathe in, begin to roll your spine upright, stacking the lower spine, the middle, and then lastly, lifting your neck and head. Let's start to rise up so we can stand right at the front of your mat if you're using a mat. Now, if you do have blocks or something to place your hands on, it's great to have them just outside of your heels, probably at the tallest height to start. Take a look at your feet and step them apart, as wide apart as your hips. Take a look at your toes and point your second toes forward so they're parallel. And then just take a moment to stand the way you would naturally stand and just feel that. Feel how your weight is pressing into the ground. Take notice of your pelvis, imagining that it's shaped like a bowl. Is your pelvis tilting forward? Is it tilting back? Is it somewhere in between? You might even try doing both things and feeling, how does that feel in my lower back? And then feel how your shoulders stack right above your hip bones. Now imagine these as building blocks. I'm spending so much time in this pose and it looks so simple. We're just standing up. But this is one of the key postures that is the blueprint for many of the standing postures. It's called mountain pose or Tadasana. So move the blocks aside so you can see. You want to have your toes spread and then lift the toes for a moment and feel activity. The arches of your feet lift. Notice how that engages the front of your thighs, the leg muscles awaken. Now keep all of that engagement and spread your toes on the ground. And with the arms just resting by your sides, tilt your weight forward and feel more weight towards the toes. Tilt your weight back and feel more weight towards the heels. Try that gently a few times until you can find center, where your weight is more evenly spread through the four corners of each foot. And then press down into the earth, keeping that aliveness in your legs. Now feel your pelvic bowl, your tailbone like an anchor reaching for the earth right between the heels. Slightly engage your lower abdomen by imagining that you've got some suspenders lifting your two frontal hip bones slightly towards your lowest front ribs. Now as that pelvic bowl is a bit more upright, notice the creation of space throughout the lower spine. Now bring your hands to your ribs. Actually try to hold your rib cage, the lowest portion. And as you continue to root the tailbone down, lift your rib cage. Feel the back ribs lift. And then keep that lifted as you relax the shoulders down. Arms by your sides, turning the palms to face forward to encourage openness in the chest. Now feel your shoulders stack above your hips. Feel the top of your head, your crown, stack above your tailbone within the natural curvature of your spine. Now come back to the breathing. Inhale. Through the nose, soft whisper, exhale. With any adjustments you just made in your physical alignment, has your ability to breathe deeper changed? Yoga, the physical practice especially, is so much of that evaluating, experimenting, hands-on. So let's press into the floor with the feet and inhale, sweep the arms sideways and up. Pause here as you watch the palms touch. If your shoulders are shrugging, try reaching the arms further forward to relax the shoulders down. If the front ribs start to protrude forward, causing overarching in the lower spine, just be conscious of that and hug in the front ribs. Drop the tailbone down. Take a deep breath, stand tall, and then exhale. Trace your thumbs to the middle of your forehead, down to the middle of your chest. We're going to start to move to the breath again in what's called half sun salutation, starting to warm up a bit more. Arms by your sides. With an inhalation, circle the arms overhead. Keep the shoulders relaxed as the palms touch. This time, bend your knees and try to elongate your back as you fold forward. Now, if you've got lower back stiffness, place your hands on that chair or blocks in front, or you can walk your hands down your legs, bending the knees a lot more to support your back. Let's stay in the forward fold for a moment. Hands on the floor, on blocks, or on your legs, just not pushing your knees. Shift your weight a little heavier towards your toes, the balls of your feet, and try to create the feeling of a flat back rather than rounding the shoulders towards the ears like this, because we want to create that space for the chest, for the lungs to fully breathe. Now, take an inhale and press where your hands are so that you can stretch your spine parallel to the floor, then pause and breathe here. This is a pose in itself called Ardha Uttanasana, or half forward fold. Want to have the knees as bent as necessary here to prevent strain in the back. Slide the shoulders back away from the neck and look towards the tip of your nose. Take another breath in, then exhale, fold down again. Press down to your feet. If you've got lower back sensitivity, you can walk your hands up your legs. Otherwise, breathe in and circle the arms out to the sides and rise all the way up again. Palms meet overhead. Exhale, trace your thumbs to the center of the forehead, to the center of the chest. All right, so that's broken down. Now let's start to flow. Breathing in one motion, breathing out one motion. Start with the arms by your sides and focus on slow, steady breathing. Let's start. Inhale, circle the arms overhead. Watch your palms meet. Bend the knees as needed. Exhale, bow forward. Press what you can press here. And inhale, stretch the spine parallel to the floor. Exhale, bow again. From down to the feet. Inhale, circle the arms unless you're using your hands to walk up your legs. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, trace your thumbs down to your heart. Let's try 3 more as you find your own pace. Go at your own breath. Inhale, raise the arms. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, press to lengthen halfway up. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow again. Inhale, rise tall, reaching the arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Twice more. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, rise halfway. Use the fingertips. Exhale, bow again. Inhale, rise tall, gaze up. Exhale, back to your heart. Last time, inhale, the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, press with the fingers, rise halfway. Exhale, bow again. Inhale, rise up, palms touch. Exhale, back to your heart. Close your eyes here and take a moment to notice. Has anything changed in the way you feel? Keeping your breath gently audible as you breathe through your nose. So from here, inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, bow again. This time, plant your fingertips either on the floor outside of your heels, on blocks outside of your heels, and step your left knee all the way to the ground behind you. Now take a look at the outside edges of your legs and feet. Separate them wide enough apart, left and right, so that they're about as wide apart as your hips. You don't want to feel like you're trying to balance in a tightrope here. And then set your right knee to bend just on top of your right heel, not in front of the heel like this, which puts a bit too much pressure on the knee. And then here, your hands are either on blocks or they're on the floor. Root down to your right toe spread, your right heel, and without actually moving your right foot, bring the feeling into the muscles in that leg as if you're dragging that heel back. So you feel the muscles a little more awake, and then press your hands into your front thigh. Engage your belly, and then lift your chest up. Lift your spine upright. Now relax the shoulders down and look forward just ahead of you as you feel the top of your head lift and your tailbone redirect down towards the ground. Let's take 3 breaths here. If your balance feels pretty steady, try raising your arms up, relaxing the shoulders, reaching up through the fingertips. Breathe in, breathe out. This is a kneeling lunge or Anjalyasana. Start to lower your hands to the ground, tuck the back toes, step the left foot forward, hips width from the right. We're going to go right to the other side, so either with the help of your blocks or fingertips on the ground, step your right knee behind you into the second side of the kneeling lunge, untucking the back toes. See that your legs are as wide apart as your hips so that you can equally root through both legs. Front knee is bending directly on top of the heel, but not in front of the heel. Then give the energy into your left leg as if you're dragging that heel towards the rear of the mat without visibly moving it. And with that sense of stability, press your hands onto your front thigh, lift your pelvic bowl upright, and then feel the torso lengthen. Relax the shoulders down, and then steady your eyes in one spot ahead. As when the eyes focus, the mind can more easily focus too. So gaze, called drishti, is important as well. How's your breathing? Now you can keep your hands here, or if your balance feels pretty steady, raise the arms up, but relax the shoulders down. Feel the support of both legs as you press into the ground and get taller through the lift of your spine. Breathe in. Listen to the breath out. 2 more breaths like that. Lower your hands on blocks or the ground in front and tuck the back toes to step the right foot forward. But this time bend your knees and let's come down to sit. And once your pelvis is about at the middle of your mat, come all the way down to your back. Let's practice a gentle hip opening posture as we lie down. With knees bent, start with both feet on the floor. Then pick up your right foot, crossing your right ankle just above your left thigh, right on top of it. So it's like a figure 4 upside down. Flex your right foot, curl the toes back towards your right knee. This will help engage the muscles around the knee joint to stabilize it. Now begin here, just notice how you're feeling. Keeping the shoulders and head on the ground, or maybe using a pillow for your head if needed. You could use your right hand right on top of the inner right thigh that's close to the hip crease, and gently press the right thigh away from your torso. You want to feel a slightly deeper stretch in that right outer hip. Now you could also try thread the needle, which is using the right hand to thread between your 2 thighs and the left hand outside of the left thigh, with 2 hands catching hold of your left thigh. Notice if this requires you to lift your head and shoulders off the ground, and if it does, better to retrack and go to the previous position. But if you can keep the head relaxed, you can breathe through, bringing the left thigh closer to your belly, little by little. Just finding that feeling of balance. The body's being challenged to open up, but not too challenged to the point of possible injury. Just feeling into the sensations. Now, as you continue to flex the right foot, as you bring your left leg closer, you could nudge the right thigh with your right arm, slightly open. Let's take 2 last breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling. Inhale and exhale. If your left leg is off the floor, step your left foot down, then step your right foot down, and just take a moment here to feel if anything feels different on the left and right sides of your body. Now, what you do on the second side might be different depending on what might be different in your body in terms of habits. So pick up your left foot, flex it, cross the ankle just on top of your right thigh like a figure four. Notice how this feels. Maybe you stay here, hands free, or you add left hand pressing on the inside top of your left thigh to gently splay it open. Or you might explore threading your left hand between your thighs, then using two hands to catch hold of your right thigh. While the head and shoulders are on the ground, you might explore bringing the right thigh closer to your belly while nudging your left thigh to splay open using your left arm. And though we're practicing a hip opening asana or posture right now, notice if there's any reaction in the face. Is the jaw relaxed? Are the eyes squinting? Irrelevant to judge it good or bad, but just simply observe. Remembering that yoga is much about expanding our awareness, including of our habits. Let's take 2 more breaths. Some of you requested lower back stretches, and this hip opener does help to broaden the sacrum, create space in the lower back. So with your exhale, set your right foot on the ground, set the left foot on the ground, and then just pause and notice if anything feels different. Now pick up your feet and with bent knees, catch hold of them with your hands. And as you continue to breathe consciously, rotate your thighs gently apart, then back together a few times, just circling your thigh bones and your hip sockets, which helps to lubricate your hip joints as well as massage your glutes and lower back. Try switching directions. Just a few more breaths. I love doing this in the morning when just getting up. Just helps to create some mobility in the lower back and the hips. Now from here, join your knees, keep your feet lifted, open your arms wide apart like a T. Then begin to drop your knees slowly to the left side, just as far as you can keep your right shoulder on the floor. If it starts to rise, you've gone too far with the legs, just retrace. Now it might feel good on your neck to look over your right shoulder. Just 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale 2. So this is a supine spinal twist. Great for releasing tension throughout the spine, throughout the back. Now start to lift the knees back to center. Roll onto your back. Make sure the left shoulder stays on the ground as you twist to the right, very slowly. You might like to turn your gaze towards your left hand, giving your neck a stretch. Deep breath in, gentle whisper out through your nose. A lot of the postures and movements we practice today are great for practicing in the morning when you just get out of bed and your body might feel a little stiff. So come back to center. Now hug your knees together into your chest and give yourself a huge hug. A big thank you to this body that just does so much to connect your inner world with your outer world. Maybe close the eyes, and as you squeeze in, perhaps lift the head and shoulders. Take a deep breath. This time hold it. Then see if you could sip in a little more air as you squeeze a little tighter. And then open the mouth to sigh as you stretch the legs apart to land on the ground. Let the arms rest slightly away from your sides with your palms face up. Let the shoulders melt towards the ground and away from your neck. Feel the natural curvature of your spine as the pelvis sits heavily on the ground. Relax your feet, soften the muscles in your legs, and as you close your eyes, let go of controlling your breath. Allow your body to be still for just a few minutes in such an important posture called Shavasana, corpse pose. Continue to close your eyes. Let your body remain still as you breathe naturally. Still observant to how you're feeling and how so far this practice has affected you. I'm going to start with small, gentle movements to wake the body up. Try rubbing your fingertips onto each other, wiggling your toes, maybe gently turning your head side to side, up and down. Then as you take a deep breath, raise your arms back overhead like you're waking up from a delicious nap. Bend your knees together again towards your chest, catching hold of your knees. Then slowly turn over to your right side, lying there for a moment in this fetal position. Press your hands into the ground when you're ready and gently lift your torso upright. Find a way that you can sit comfortably yet alert. Maybe using a prop to sit on or a chair. Now we're going to take just a short practice of focusing, dharana or concentration, which is preliminary to deeper states of meditation. So as you're sitting tall, notice the movement of your breath in your body, still breathing naturally. Perhaps you feel more movement in the center of your abdomen. Perhaps you feel it in the center of your chest or the sides of your ribs. I invite you to place your hands where you feel that breath. Now, for just about a minute, I'd like you to try to steady your awareness on that physical area, feeling the breath come in, the breath come out. If you start to get distracted, your attention goes somewhere else, notice if and when that happens, then simply drop back into feeling the breath come in, the breath come out. Be kind to yourself. If your mind gets distracted, simply come back to focusing. Breath in, breath out. This is the practice. Now allow a deeper breath in, enlivening attention in body and mind. Open the mouth, again like you're fogging a mirror. Exhale. Let's bring the hands together at your heart center. This mudra or gesture of gratitude. And feeling the effects of your yoga practice today, what can you sit here and be aware that you appreciate? So that with that positive thoughts, we close. Take a deep breath in. And again, exhale. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.